Hi. Today we're going to talk about the lessons I learned from the last housing downturn. The last housing downturn's impact on the homebuilding industry was prolific. The market dropped further and stayed down longer than anyone anticipated. Some companies weathered the storm better than others, but everyone was affected. We can't prevent the next housing turn. Homebuilding has been and is likely to always be a cyclical business. However, if we learn from our experiences, we're in a better position to go through the next downturn better than we did the last. Some lessons learned include diversification, leverage moderation, core competency focus, integrated design, technology adoption, systemic land management, and the power of good people to get you through. Let's start with diversification. 3 developers are better than 2. 2 banks are better than 1. One installing trade is never enough. When the market dips, and it will dip, and your developer runs into trouble, you'll need others to help you through. When someone in a far-off corporate bank office calls your loan, you'll need your relationship with another to help you through. When a trade suddenly closes their doors, you'll need another who is set up in your system and ready to meet your schedule. I'm a strong proponent of single-source national manufacturing agreements. Outside of that, my experience has taught me to diversify all other areas. Lesson learned: don't single source banks, land developers, or trades. Next, let's go to the focus on core competencies. Some builders further diversified their service offering by branching into remodeling or multifamily rental markets. Diversification into a somewhat countercyclical area can be a good idea if it's within your core competency. That said, I would caution against areas outside of what you do well. For example, some home builders ventured into vertical integration of self-performing everything from material distribution to installation services. Almost all failed. There are a few success stories out there, but they are few and far between. Those who have succeeded did so by approaching the vertically integrated activity differently than they do their homebuilding business. They hired people whose expertise was in the specific integrated activity. My advice is to focus on your core competencies. Lesson learned: focus on your core competencies. Leverage moderation. Some leverage is just a cost of doing business, but too much can cripple a company when the market turns. We have all seen good companies crumble under the weight of their debt. Others struggle to regain their market position while trying to rebalance an out-of-balance sheet. Some of the fastest growing home builders did not make it through the last downturn. Other builders entered the downturn with lots of cash, seizing one great land deal after another. It's very hard to compete with a builder who has a significantly lower cost land bank when you're paying current market rates for land and above market rates for capital. Start planning for the next downturn. Think about things you can do today to position your company for success during the next downturn. Lesson learned: don't overextend your company with debt. Save for the downturn bargains. Integrated design. Start with the buyer in mind. Develop floor plans that set you apart from your competition. Successful designs can't be done in isolation. Involve your suppliers in installing trades early in the process so the floor plans are designed for ease of construction, warranty cost minimization, and material efficiency. Remember that cost-effective management begins in the design phase. Inefficiencies in the floor plan will carry through in your material utilization, installation labor hours, cycle time, and sales absorption rates. Utilize BIM technology to build the plan virtually, identifying plumbing beam conflicts, incompatible construction details, poor material utilization, and so on. Lesson learned: good design will help you through the peaks and troughs of a housing cycle. Next lesson is to adopt technology. Utilize business intelligence applications to develop tools to track sales, warranty expenses, cycle time, cost variances, material utilization, supplier, trade, and employee performance at a community plan elevation level. Make adjustments in your business and staff sooner rather than later to correct poor performance. Track macro events in the economy that are leading indicators: interest rates, housing sales, housing starts, permits, days on market, owner occupancy rates, employment, etc., to the next change in the market. Home building is getting more complex as the requirements of the home buyers, design review boards, code officials, developers, and even suppliers and trades are ever increasing. A construction job site should be treated as a production system. Between half and 3/4 of the typical home builder's cycle time is spent waiting for something to happen or reworking something that did. Utilize technology to synchronize suppliers and installing trades. Look for opportunities to use systems to automate transactions. Lesson learned: utilize technology to track changes in the market, automate transactions, and manage complexity. Next is land management. Balance self-developed finished lot purchases and options. Depending on your core competencies, local market opportunities, and resources, you may be involved in all three. Whatever your approach, make adjustments as the market turns. Don't get caught with too many or too few lots. Be cognizant that B and C location home sales are often the first to slow in approaching downturn. That can be a leading indication the market is softening. It's also why you should have some A locations in your land bank. Lesson learned: balance land location positions, options versus purchases, and years of supply. Last and most importantly, know the power of good people. People are your greatest asset. In my career, I've had the opportunity to work with some of the best people in the business. Some were treated as a cost rather than a capable and respected resource. Others as a key member of the team working to get the company through the downturn. It seems like almost everyone is trying to fill open positions created by growth or turnover these days. In my career, I've seen firsthand the effects of how a company treated its employees in a downturn. It shows in a person's willingness to leave their employer for a better opportunity. Those who felt they were valued are reluctant to leave, while those who don't jump at their perceived better opportunity. Pay your people competitively. Create an environment where they're respected and challenged. Put them to their highest and best use so they can give you a return. Address poor performance. Allowing poor performance to go unaddressed affects the morale of the whole team. Understand that anyone worth their salt is in high demand right now. They have options. If they do not feel respected, challenged, and competitively compensated, they may leave. Finally, in a downturn, hang on to your good people for as long as you can. Cut costs in other areas. There are plenty of opportunities. Lesson learned: treat people with respect. Compensate them competitively and challenge them to their highest and best use. These are just some of the lessons I learned during the last downturn. I hope you found this information helpful, and thank you for listening. Have a great day.